Alone. We are alone. According to our knowledge, we are the sole inhabitants of the universe. Earth is not the average, but a cosmic oddity. It is frowned upon by its neighbours for harbouring the miracle that is life. In our universe of darkness, life glimmers like a shine of hope. That call, a call of desperation, will never be answered, for we are alone. But what if we weren't? What if Earth wasn't alone? What if there is extraterrestrial life out there, unknown to our knowledge? Could this exist? What would it look like? If only there was a YouTube channel dedicated to showing you what extraterrestrial life could look like. Introducing Project ZIRA. Calm down, I know. Project ZIRA will be a speculative evolution project based around what would life look like on an exoplanet. But before we can make the life, we must make the planet itself. Oh yeah, I'm Zachbot. I'll be your host for today. We can't just create the planet itself. We have to create the stars, its neighbours, other galactical objects, etc. In front of you now is an image of ZIRA's system. Looks interesting enough. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Pyre lights the way. Pyre is a G-type star, very similar to our Sun. It's got 1.1 solar masses and emits a large amount of red and green light. This causes the plants on ZIRA to be a blue coloration, as it would like to reflect the blue light and absorb the red and green. Castor and Pollux. Two heads are better than one. Castor and Pollux were two small rocky planets that separately had their own orbit, up until a certain event caused them to get intertwined and orbit each other. These two are called twin planets, as they are constantly circling each other as they swirl around the sun. This means that if you were to stand on the surface of Pollux, you would be able to see Castor, huge in the night sky above you. Fun fact, they're both tidally locked to each other. They're both named after two twins in Greek mythology who are constantly fighting, and they do live up to their name, as occasionally they can be seen ripping each other apart and rebuilding themselves of the debris. Pollux is slightly larger than Castor, although they are roughly analogous to the size of Mercury. Both are packed with ions and other metals and minerals, which would be great for future civilizations trying to build a Dyson sphere. ZIRA, star of the show. ZIRA will be the main focal point of the series. Wow, shocker, I know. It's a low-gravity world with two moons, a strange continent in the middle, and many other interesting attributes. That's all I'm going to say for now. We'll get back to them later. ZIRA. My mysteries remain unsolved. ZIRA is the sister planet of ZIRA. It looks to be incredibly cold and incredibly large. Something odd seems to be happening on its surface. For now, I'll leave it alone. Parvi. Small but mighty. Past ZIRA is an asteroid belt, simply titled the Belt, and in it resides Parvi. Parvi is a small dwarf planet, so small it can't even form itself into a sphere. It instead has to deal with an odd pear shape. It's around the size of Pluto, although slightly smaller, and its surface is covered in a layer of ice. As much as I'd love to stay with Parvi, we have to move on. Gargantua. You see moons, he sees bullets. Gargantua is the only gas giant in the system. Due to certain chemicals in its atmosphere, it has a yellow/green coloration. Now, I ain't no chemist, but my friend is, so if you would like the individual chemicals and reactions, pause to read. The colour isn't the only thing Gargantua has going for it. It also has multiple moons. Some are planet-sized objects with lakes of methane and ethane. Some have an outer layer of frozen wasteland with a subsurface ocean. And some are just glorified rocks. Perhaps later down the line, we could take a look at some of Gargantua's moons and see what interesting life could evolve on them. Skadi, see you on the flip side. Skadi is an ice giant around the size of Neptune, and a few billion years ago it looked just the same, although now we can see it has taken quite a transformation. You see, it hasn't always looked like this. A long time ago, it looked like a cross between Neptune and Uranus, although that has changed. As of now, Skadi is the last planet in the Pyrrhi system, although there used to be another. Uller was an icy super-Earth, an icy, desolate world far outside the habitable zone. And one fateful day, it got caught in the gravitational pull of Skadi. It quickly sped up, and eventually, a collision course was on its way. When Uller smashed its side into Skadi, it exploded into thousands of pieces, creating a ring of ice and rock around the planet. Not only that, but the impact sped up Skadi's rotation, causing a huge equatorial storm to emerge. We're not done just yet. It also caused Skadi to have a huge flip, 90 degrees in fact. So instead of looking like this, it does look like this. And that, my friends, is ZIRA system. But we are not done with the video yet. We are yet to go over ZIRA in great detail. We still have things like atmospheric composition, tectonic plates, and much more to discuss. If we are going to talk about ZIRA, this image just won't do. Let's enhance. Much better. This is a much better view of ZIRA. Here we can see a large supercontinent with 3 jutting branches, a desert in the middle, and a polar region up north. Those 3 branches are actually their own continent. However, these 3 continents converge in the center, causing them to look like one large one. The northern landmass is Onu, the western, Duos, and down south we have Charybdis. Much like Earth, ZIRA is tectonically active, and those tectonic plates will look something like this. Unlike Earth, ZIRA is unique as it has 2 moons instead of the one. The names of these moons are Cauda and Canoa. Cauda is the larger of the 2 and is roughly the same size as the moon, while Canoa is around half and orbits further. Since Canoa is so small, it can't form itself into a sphere and instead has to deal with an odd blob type shape. Both of these moons will have a large impact on the tides of ZIRA, giving it very large tides. This is because the moon's gravity actually pulls on the oceans of ZIRA. This also happens on Earth. The final aspect of ZIRA we must talk about is its atmosphere. It looks incredibly like Earth, with large amounts of nitrogen to form certain compounds needed for life, and large amounts of oxygen for creatures to respirate. There has been so much talk about life on ZIRA, but if we touch down on its surface, we see no signs of life at all. However, that's because you're looking in the wrong place. You should be looking under the waves. Hello guys, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. An even bigger thanks to the people who made art for this video. If you would like to see some spoilers for the next episode, make some art, or just genuinely chat, a link to Project ZIRA's Discord server will be in the comments and hopefully description of this video. Next episode we'll be talking about multicellular life and the first large life forms to ever inhabit ZIRA. Again, I can't stress it enough, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.